Welcome to Heartbreak Chronicles. Nights in Madrid always carry a different flavor. The illuminated Grand Boulevard was teeming with people, and the air was filled with the sound of enthusiastic flamenco guitars and the laughter of people. The curtain is about to go up on a much-anticipated flamenco show in a venerable theater on Alcala Street. Backstage at the theater, Lucas stood in front of a mirror, straightening his performance outfit. He wore a tight black sequin top that outlined the lines of his powerful and explosive body. His eyes were sharp and deep, as if he were a cheetah waiting for the moment to hunt. As one of Madrid's hottest flamenco dancers in recent years, Lucas' performances are always unforgettable with passion and tension. In the audience, Sophia stared intently at the entrance to the stage, an expectant gleam in her eyes. She was wearing a delicate red dress that emphasized her pretty figure and fair skin. As a successful realtor, Sophia had seen some big games, but tonight, her heart was beating extra fast. She knew that Lucas was about to put on a one-of-a-kind show for her. And in a corner of the theater, Noah looks a little distracted. He was wearing a plain jacket, a bit out of place in the dressed-up crowd around him. His eyes weren't focused on the stage, but glanced at Sophia every now and then. He noticed that Sophia was in a noticeably better mood compared to the previous days, a phenomenon that had been missing for a long time. But Noah's heart felt a vague twinge of unease. Lately, Sophia's erratic behavior has confused and worried him. Notice anything? It's been rough in town lately. A group of Russians are moving in. Owen, an old friend beside Noah, said. Owen is a retired police officer and Noah's best friend of many years. He was a stocky man, retired, but his eyes were still sharp. The Russians? Noah frowned. What do they want? Not sure, but it's certainly not good. Owen patted Noah on the shoulder. Anyway, you take care. You're a family man now. Noah smiled bitterly. Don't worry, Owen. I'm not the bullfighter I was back then. I'm just a regular auto mechanic now who just wants to take good care of Sophia and Lily. Owen wanted to say something, but finally just sighed. He knew that Noah had given up so much for his family, including his once proud career as an agent. The music played, the lights dimmed, and the audience fell silent. Lucas walked onto the stage to a round of applause. He was like a burning flame, every movement full of power and passion. His steps, sometimes light as a swallow, sometimes wild as the wind, bring out the charm of flamenco. Sophia was totally immersed in Lucas' performance, her eyes filled with fascination and longing. It was as if she had seen another world, a world of freedom and passion, a world very different from her current life. Noah, on the other hand, is always on guard. He noticed that Lucas seemed to be looking at Sophia intentionally or unintentionally on a couple of occasions during the performance. That look is never just a dancer's salute to the audience, but more like a hint. After the show, Sophia excitedly dragged Noah backstage to Lucas. Noah wanted to refuse, but ultimately couldn't argue with Sophia. Lucas, your performance was fantastic. Sophia enthused. I've never seen such wonderful flamenco. Thank you, Sophia, Lucas said with a smile, his eyes lingering on Noah for a moment. And this is? Oh, this is my husband, Noah, Sophia said with an imperceptible hint of coldness in her tone. Hello, Noah. Lucas extended his hand. Nice to meet you. Noah shook his hand politely. Hello. After exchanging a few pleasantries, Sophia pulls Noah out of the theater, citing something. What's wrong with you tonight? Noah couldn't help but ask as he walked out of the theater. You've been distracted since just now. Where am I? Sophia denied it. I'm just a little tired. Noah looked at Sophia's blinking eyes and his doubts deepened. Over the next few days, Sophia became more erratic. She often used the excuse of working overtime or meeting with clients to go out early and stay out late, even all night. She grows cold towards Noah and Lily and often loses her temper with them. Noah's auto repair store is located just off a quiet street in Madrid. The store is small, but clean and tidy. Noah has earned the trust of the neighborhood with his skill and passion for service. His regular customers know that this quiet man is not only a great mechanic, but a trusted friend. That afternoon, a regular customer, Ethan, drove into the store in his old Citroën. Noah, help me out. The old boy's been acting up again lately. Ethan said. Noah skillfully opened the hood and began to inspect it. Like an experienced doctor, he listened carefully to the sound of the engine, searching for the source of the problem. It's probably a clogged carburetor. I'll clean it for you. Noah said. I knew it had to be you. Ethan grinned. By the way, I saw her the other day at the prime location, and it looks like she sold another mansion. The Golden Mile is a prestigious and wealthy area of Madrid where houses can cost millions of euros. Yes, Noah responded absently, but the movement of his hand gave a slight lurch. She's in a great position right now, and I heard that their company is going to give her a promotion. Ethan continued. You have to hold on to her. Don't let her get away. Noah didn't say anything, just quietly continued the work at hand. Ethan's words made him feel even more uneasy. Sophia does seem to be talking more and more about the mansions in the prime neighborhoods these days, and complains more and more often that he doesn't make enough money. On Sophia's side, her life is a completely different story. She spends her days in sophisticated professional suits and drives her newly purchased BMW sedan through the upscale neighborhoods of Madrid. She shows her clients one luxury apartment and villa after another, painting a picture of luxury living with her provocative language. Imagine, Miss Clara, waking up early in the morning and enjoying breakfast on this spacious terrace overlooking all of Madrid. Sophia said, pointing out the window. Your children can enjoy playing in this private garden while your husband entertains his friends in this luxurious wine cellar. The noblewoman in front of her, Clara, has been so impressed by the rosy outlook Sophia has painted that she has begun to seriously consider purchasing the multi-million euro mansion. Sophia, you are so good at talking. Clara smiled. I can't help but move in. You deserve it, Miss Clara. Sophia complimented. A classy, successful person like you deserves it. Sophia is well aware that to get ahead in this industry, she must learn to cater to the psyche of these wealthy individuals. She must not only understand their needs, but also their secrets. During a showing of a client's home, Sophia intentionally leaves an important document in the client's mansion. When she returns to pick up the file, she overhears Julian, a client, on the phone with his lover. She quietly recorded their conversation and used it as blackmail to force Julian to buy the mansion at an above-market price. You wouldn't want your wife to know about this, would you, Mr. Julian? Sophia smiled. So, you see the price. Julian grimaced, but eventually gave in. Through this tactic, Sophia's performance quickly soared, and she soon became the company's top salesperson with a generous bonus. She began to buy all kinds of luxury goods, go to all kinds of upscale places, and enjoy the luxurious life she had always dreamed of. She and Lucas have also grown close. Lucas often takes her to parties and introduces her to his friends. At these parties, Sophia felt a freedom and excitement she had never felt before. She and Lucas were dancing, drinking, and partying together, completely forgetting about Noah and Lily. Once, Lucas took Sophia to a fancy restaurant outside of Madrid in his racy sports car. This restaurant is situated halfway up the hill overlooking the entire city at night. Do you like it here, darling? Lucas asked affectionately as he wrapped his arms around Sophia's waist. Love it so much. Sophia exclaimed. It's like heaven here. I'll bring you here every day from now on as long as you like. Lucas placed a soft kiss on Sophia's forehead. When we have enough money, we'll get out of here, go somewhere where no one knows us, and start over. Sophia snuggles into Lucas' arms and fantasizes about the wonderful life ahead of them. It was as if she could already see them living a carefree life on a beautiful island with a luxurious villa. She would give anything for this moment. However, there are danger signs hidden in the paper life. Lucas is out of his depth, but he often receives mysterious phone calls and always avoids Sophia answering them. At one point, Sophia overhears a money order from Russia falling out of Lucas's wallet with a record of a money transfer of up to 100,000 euros to an unfamiliar Russian name. What's this? Sophia asked, pointing to the money order. Lucas' face changed slightly, but he quickly returned to normal. Oh, this, he said with a smile, is a repayment from a Russian friend of mine who borrowed a sum of money from me earlier. Sophia was a little skeptical, but she didn't look deeper. She didn't want to jeopardize this hard-won happiness. She chooses to believe Lucas and the wonderful lies he weaves for her. Lucas, on the other hand, sweet-talked Sophia into keeping some business documents for him, documents that were hidden from the public and related to his money laundering. On this day, Sophia comes home as usual and Lily is already asleep. Noah is sitting in the living room with the TV on, but he's obviously not watching. You're back. Noah's voice sounded a little husky. Uh-huh. Sophia responded absent-mindedly, ready to go back to her bedroom. Lily told me you got her a new tablet. Noah called out to her. Sophia's body stiffened. Yes, her original one broke. Yeah. Noah walked up to Sophia and stared into her eyes. Then why was she stumped when I asked her? She's probably afraid you'll scold her. Sophia avoided Noah's gaze. Sophia, what exactly are you hiding from me? Noah's tone became stern. Your behavior has been erratic lately. Are you seeing someone outside? What are you babbling about? Sophia was annoyed. I work my ass off every day, and you doubt me at home. I just want to know the truth. The truth is I've had enough of you. Sophia screamed. Enough of you, worthless man. What else can you do but work on cars? Look at Lucas and look at you. With that said, Sophia slammed the door and left Noah standing alone. This night, Noah lost sleep. He lay on his bed, images of Sophia and Lucas together constantly floating through his mind. He felt a pang of heartache, but he was more confused and puzzled. He couldn't understand why the once gentle and virtuous wife had become what she was now. He tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Various thoughts swirled in his mind, distracting him. Suddenly, he remembered Sophia's cell phone. He knew that Sophia only put her cell phone down when she went into the bathroom, and he decided to take the opportunity to check her phone to see if he could find any clues. However, when he returns to the bedroom with Sophia's phone, he finds it clean and free of any suspicious messages. Sophia was more cautious than he could have imagined. He was a little upset, but there was nothing he could do about it. Just then, he noticed Lily's tablet on the nightstand. It occurred to him that Lily's tablet and Sophia's phone were of the same brand, and that he had synchronized the two devices after the purchase, which theoretically allowed the tablet to synchronize the phone's information. Although Lily is a child, Sophia's chat software may have monitoring or protection features on it for children or minors, so Sophia won't be overly wary of it, which may be a breakthrough for. A glimmer of hope flared in Noah's heart. He picks up Lily's tablet, but there's a password, which he doesn't know. Okay, here are the subsequent parts of the story. The characters' names have been changed to random English names, and the content is kept in Chinese output. Continue to follow the narrative order of the segments. Just as Noah is at a loss, Lily walks over with her tablet. Daddy, what are you doing? Lily asked, rubbing her sleepy eyes. Nothing, baby. Noah stroked Lily's head. Why are you still up? I can't sleep. Lily said, Mommy hasn't read me a story in a long time. Noah's mind tightened. He then realized that he had neglected his daughter's feelings all this time. He picked up Lily, walked to her room, and told her a story. Suddenly, Noah's mind wandered. He asked gently, Lily, so do you know the password to Mommy's tablet? Lily thought for a moment and said, Of course I know. Mom's password is our birthdays. Lily said, typing a string of numbers into the tablet, and it did unlock the tablet. A thrill went through Noah as he took the tablet and said to Lily, Thank you, baby. Why don't you go to sleep and Daddy will be with you in a little while. Lily nodded good-naturedly and went back to her bed to fall asleep. Noah took a deep breath and started checking Lily's tablet. He first found the sync settings and confirmed that the tablet was syncing information from Sophia's phone. Then he clicked on the same chat program Sophia usually used, and because it was automatically synchronized, Sophia's account appeared here and was automatically in a logged-in state. He quickly skimmed through a message when suddenly a familiar avatar caught his eye. It was none other than Lucas. The chat logs of Sophia and Lucas' conversations are full of flirtation and teasing, sending a stab of pain through Noah's heart. He held back his anger and continued to look through their chats. Suddenly, a message caught his eye. Don't worry, honey. Once that Russian assassin takes care of him, the insurance money will be all ours. Noah's pupils constricted suddenly, and he felt a wave of vertigo. He couldn't believe his eyes. Sophia actually tried to kill him. He continues to scroll down and discovers that Sophia and Lucas are planning a murder. They plan to capitalize on Noah's love of cars by creating an accident in which Noah is killed while test driving a modified car. And that car, it was Lucas who got it through illegal channels. Noah felt a bone-chilling chill. He hadn't realized that Sophia would become so vicious. He continued on, wanting more details. He sees Lucas send Sophia a photo of a stocky man with a cold face. Who's this? Sophia asked. "That's the Russian assassin I got named Mason," Lucas replied. "He's a tough guy, guaranteed to clean things up." Noah took note of the killer's appearance, named Mason, and knew that he had to act quickly or both he and Lily would be in great danger. It was then that he suddenly noticed a reference to an insurance policy in the chat log. Sophia tells Lucas that she has taken out a huge life insurance policy on Noah, with herself as the beneficiary. Noah is reminded of Ethan's mention of Sophia selling a mansion in a prime location and her recent obsession with luxury goods. It turns out that it was all a setup by Sophia to get his insurance money. To confirm his suspicions, Noah decides to find the insurance policy first. He had to know exactly how much Sophia had insured him for and how she planned to carry out this murder. Only with this information could he formulate a plan to counterattack. He gently closed the door to Lily's room, then grabbed his car keys and got ready to head out. Just then, he suddenly remembered that Sophia seemed to have left some important papers in a drawer in her bedroom. He hesitated, but decided to check the bedroom first. He tiptoed into the bedroom and opened the same drawer Sophia always used. At the far end of the drawer, he found a thick folder. He opened the folder, and there was indeed an insurance policy in it, insured by Noah and benefited by Sophia for a whopping €1 million. Noah sucked in a cool breath. He finally realized why Sophia was so desperate to get rid of him. It turns out that in the eyes of his wife, his life is surprisingly worth only €1 million. At the bottom of the insurance policy, there is a medical report. The report shows that Noah is in excellent health and has no underlying medical conditions. This reinforces Noah's belief that Sophia's murderous plans are imminent. He put the insurance policy and the medical report back where they belonged and quietly left the bedroom. He knows that he must act quickly to stop Sophia and Lucas' plot. He glanced at the sleeping Lily, a flicker of tenderness in his eyes. He vowed that no matter what it took, he would protect his daughter from this nightmare. Noah walks out of his house. The night is dark in Madrid, but he has no sleep. The cold wind on his face made him more awake. He started the car and headed for the auto repair store he ran. He needed a quiet place to think about his next plan. Sophia's betrayal and Lucas's machinations weigh like a boulder on his heart. He thought he had long since gotten away from the dangerous life of the past and could live a peaceful life with his family, but he never realized that fate had played such a cruel joke on him. He absolutely cannot sit back and wait for his turn. He must take the initiative and protect himself and Lily. Arriving at the auto body store, Noah turned on the lights and looked around the little world he had built. It smells of motor oil and metal, and every tool is well organized. He walked over to his workbench, pulled open a drawer, and pulled a dusty box from the far end. The box contained a variety of tools he'd used in his past assignments at the CNI. A finely silenced pistol, a pair of special night vision goggles, a miniature tracker, and a couple of IDs for different identities. These were things he had thought he would never use again in his life. But now, in order to protect his family, he has to regain the skills of his past. Noah picked up the silenced pistol and skillfully checked the chamber and magazine. The cold metallic touch felt both familiar and foreign to him. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, trying to calm his insides. He tells himself that he is no longer the bullfighter, the agent who fights to the death, but an ordinary father, a father who needs to protect his daughter. He put the pistol back in the box and picked up the miniature tracker. He needs to install this tracker on Sophia's car to keep track of her whereabouts. He knew that Sophia was going to meet an important client in the morning in a prime location, and that this might be an opportunity. Sophia woke up early the next morning and dressed up. She looked radiant in an expensive professional suit and delicate makeup. She walked to Lily's room and kissed her daughter gently on the forehead before grabbing her car keys and walking out of the house. Noah was up long ago, hiding behind the curtains, watching Sophia's every move. He saw Sophia drive away from the house and then quickly went downstairs to Sophia's car. Using his masterful locksmith skills, he opens Sophia's car door and then cleverly installs the tracker in a hidden location underneath the car. With that done, Noah returns home, turns on his computer, and begins tracking Sophia's movements. On the screen, a red is moving through the streets of Madrid, none other than Sophia's car. Noah stared intently at the screen, watching the red come to prime real estate. He knows that Sophia's move is on, and he, too, must quicken his pace. His first thought was of the Russian assassin named Mason. Based on a photo Lucas sends Sophia, Noah recognizes the man as a member of a notorious crime syndicate in Eastern Europe. He had to find this killer and stop him as soon as possible. So Noah dialed Owen's number. "Owen, it's me, Noah." "Noah, what's up so early?" Owen's voice sounded a little surprised. "I need you to look into someone for me." Noah sent Owen a picture of Mason and pertinent information. "This man is a Russian assassin who may have been operating in Madrid recently. I need to know everything about him, including where he lands and who he contacts." "The Russian assassin?" Owen's tone turned serious. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure," Noah said. "This is very urgent, please." "Okay," Owen said. "I'll try to find out for you. But, Noah, be careful yourself." "Don't worry, Owen." Noah hung up and began to think about his next step. Noah knew it would be hard for him to take on a professional killer on his own. He needed help, someone he could trust. Then he thought of Jack, his former colleague at CNI. Jack is a top communications expert who can help him track and listen in on his targets. Noah dialed Jack's number and told him the whole story. "What do you mean, Sophia tried to kill you?" Jack was shocked. "How is that possible?" "That's just the way it is," Noah said bitterly. "I need your help now, Jack. Can you help me trace a cell phone number and listen in on the call?" "No problem. Leave it to me," Jack said. "But, Noah, be careful yourself. This is no joke." "I know," Noah said. "Thank you, Jack." Hanging up the phone, Noah let out a long breath of relief. With Owen and Jack's help, he's sure he'll be able to find that Russian hitman Mason and stop Sophia's crazy plan. Over the next few days, Noah continues to run his auto body store while secretly investigating Sophia and Lucas' movements. He tracks Sophia's whereabouts every day and realizes that she meets with Lucas frequently and in a different location each time. Through Jack's wiretaps, Noah learns that Sophia and Lucas are stepping up their plans to murder him. They plan to do it at a car rally, faking an accident. According to their plan, Lucas will arrange for Noah to test drive a specially modified race car and tamper with it at high speeds to make the brakes fail, causing the car to go out of control. Mason would disguise himself as a rescue worker and arrive at the scene first after the accident to ensure that Noah died accidentally before being taken to the hospital, making the murder look more like a simple accident. Hearing this fills Noah's heart with anger and sadness. He didn't think that his wife, whom he had loved for so many years, would be so vicious as to try to put him to death. And the sophistication and brutality of the plan sent shivers down his spine. Meanwhile, news has come in from Owen's side. He found out that the Russian assassin named Mason had indeed been operating in Madrid recently and was connected to the criminal organization Lucas was a part of. Owen also tracked down Mason's drop-off point, an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Madrid. Noah decided to check out this warehouse for himself. He left Lily in Owen's care and drove alone to the abandoned warehouse. The warehouse is located in a remote industrial area surrounded by overgrown grass and people. Noah parks his car on the far side and approaches the warehouse on foot. Using his keen powers of observation, he realized that there were multiple surveillance cameras installed around the warehouse and that there were people keeping watch in the shadows. Noah knew that this had to be Mason's hideout. He didn't act rashly, but chose to observe from the shadows. He noticed that a different person would come in and out of the warehouse every day, and they were all armed. Noah realizes that this is a dangerous place, and he must be careful. He decided to go back first and think long and hard about it. Just as Noah is about to leave, he suddenly sees Sophia's car appear near the warehouse. He was shocked and hurriedly hid in the shadows. He saw Sophia get out of her car and walk into the warehouse. Noah's heart was in his throat. He didn't know why Sophia was here, but he had a bad feeling about it. He decided to take a chance and follow him in to see. Using his superior sneaking skills, he avoided the guards around the warehouse and quietly sneaked inside. The inside of the warehouse was dimly lit and filled with all sorts of clutter. Noah held his breath and cautiously stepped forward. Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice coming from the depths of the warehouse. "Is everything set, Mason?" It's Sophia's voice. Noah's heart sank. He followed the direction the voice came from and slowly approached. He sees Sophia talking to a large, cold-faced man, none other than Mason, the Russian assassin. "Don't worry, Miss Sophia," Mason said in raw Spanish. "The plan is foolproof this time." Lucas is in charge of getting him accidentally killed in a race car, and I, on the other hand, am in charge of making sure that he is resuscitated ineffectively. We work both ways to make sure he dies through. Very well, Sophia said with satisfaction. Remember, I want his death to look like an accident. Absolutely no trace should be left behind. Don't worry about that. I promise to complete the mission and leave no loose ends. Mason replied. Sophia went over some more details with Mason, with special emphasis on destroying all evidence after the deed was done, including cell phone and communication records of their contact. Then Sophia left the warehouse. Noah waits for Sophia to walk away and then quietly leaves the warehouse as well. Back in the car, Noah's feelings were long in coming. He hadn't realized that Sophia had come to meet with the Slayer herself and was so desperate to get rid of him. He felt a chill run down his spine, and at the same time, his resolve was strengthened. He must stop Sophia and Lucas's crazy plan as soon as possible to keep himself and Lily safe. Noah picked up his cell phone and dialed Jack's number. Jack, check Lucas' bank account for me and see if he's had any unusual money movements lately. Okay, Noah, I'll check right away, Jack said. A few minutes later, Jack delivered the message. Noah, guess what? Lucas just received a large sum of money in his account, transferred from an offshore account. Indeed, a cold glint flashed in Noah's eyes. They're already on the move. Noah knew that there wasn't much time left for him. He must find the evidence and bring Sophia and Lucas to justice as soon as possible. He remembered the fancy restaurant Sophia frequented. Maybe he could start there. He knew that Henry, the manager of that restaurant, was a money grubber and might be able to get some useful information out of him. So Noah drove to the fancy restaurant. He found Henry and got right to the point. Henry, I need you to do me a favor. Mr. Noah? Henry obviously knew Noah. What can I do for you? I'd like to know about Sophia and Lucas' recent visits to dine here, including their spending history and security footage. Noah said. Henry's face was a little embarrassed. I'm afraid this isn't very convenient, is it? Noah pulled a wad of bills out of his pocket and shoved them into Henry's hand. Is this enough? Henry weighed the bill in his hand, a smile on his face. That's enough. You wait a moment, I'll go check. A few minutes later, Henry returned with a flash drive in his hand. Mr. Noah, everything you asked for is here. Noah took the flash drive and inserted it into his computer. He saw that the flash drive contained Sophia's and Lucas' purchases from their last few meals here, as well as a couple of surveillance videos. He clicks on a surveillance video and sees Sophia and Lucas dining in the booth. They behaved intimately, spoke ambiguously, and were clearly not in a normal relationship. Noah noticed that during the meal, Lucas took a paper bag out of his pocket and handed it to Sophia. Sophia opens the pouch of papers, looks at it carefully, and then smiles with satisfaction. Noah's heart tightened. He knew that the pouch of papers must have contained a plan for his murder, which likely included detailed steps on how to create a racing accident and how to get Mason involved. He has to find a way to get his hands on this paper bag as evidence against Sophia and Lucas. Just then, Noah's cell phone rang. It's Owen calling. Noah, I found out something new about that Russian hitman Mason. Owen's tone sounded serious. He's been in close contact lately with a man named Victor, the head of the Russian mob in Madrid. Victor, said Noah, his brow furrowed. What's this guy's background? Victor is a dangerous man who controls a lot of illegal business in Madrid, including contraband and arms smuggling. Owen said, and I've also found out that Lucas is actually one of Victor's henchmen in charge of laundering money for him. The news came as a shock to Noah. He didn't realize that Lucas was hiding such a huge criminal network behind him. He realizes that he's dealing with not just a simple killer, but a huge crime syndicate. He had to be more careful to get them all in one place. He ended his call with Owen and dialed Jack again. Jack, look up this Victor guy for me. I want to know everything about him, including his address, contact info, and his recent activities. Okay, Noah, I'll do my best, Jack replied. Hanging up the phone, Noah's mind raced. He knew there was no turning back, and he had to act quickly. He needs to formulate a well-thought-out plan to not only stop Sophia and Lucas' murderous plans, but also to bring down the crime syndicate behind them. He glanced out the window. The night was dark. The streets of Madrid are still brightly lit with traffic. But Noah knows that behind this bustling scene lies a myriad of evils and dangers. And he, alone, was about to face the storm. But Noah doesn't back down and decides to let go for Lily and for everything he loves. He needed to find a breakthrough as soon as possible, and the breakthrough, in all likelihood, was in that detailed murder plan. Madrid at night may seem calm, but it's a dark place. Noah sat in the auto body store, all sorts of information flashing on the computer screen in front of him. Records of Lucas's bank account, Victor's personal data, and the surveillance footage from that abandoned warehouse. He was like a dormant cheetah, quietly waiting for the time to strike. He knew there wasn't much time left for him. Sophia and Lucas' plan had been set in motion, and the Russian assassin named Mason was in place. He must get ahead of them, stop this murderous madness, and completely destroy the criminal network behind them. Noah took a deep breath and began to formulate a counterplan. It was a dangerous gamble, he knew, but he had no choice. Not only does he have to protect himself and Lily, he has to get justice for Sophia's betrayal. Like a true matador, he will use courage and wisdom to subdue this fierce bull. According to Jack's investigation, Victor controls much of Madrid's underground trade and is an extremely dangerous figure. He is not only ruthless, but also extremely well-connected, with ties to both the political and business sectors. Noah realizes that to bring Victor down for good, he must find hard evidence of his crimes and enlist strong enough allies. His first thought was still Owen. Although Owen has retired, his influence in the police community is still not to be underestimated. Noah decides to tell Owen what he has and seek his help. Early the next morning, Noah decides to drop Lily off at Owen's house and dials Owen's number. "Owen, I need to meet with you for something important." Noah said. "What happened, Noah?" asked Owen. "I can't tell you over the phone. Let's meet in person." Noah replied. An hour later, Noah and Owen met at an out-of-the-way cafe. Noah spills the beans on Sophia, Lucas, Mason, and Victor and shows all the evidence he's gathered. Owen's face becomes unusually grave as he listens to Noah's account. "This matter is more complicated than I thought," he said. "Victor is a man I've heard about for a long time, too, but there's never been any solid evidence to bring him down. I didn't realize that he was with your wife." "Now is not the time to get emotional, Owen," Noah interrupted. "We must act quickly to stop their plans." "What do you want to do?" Owen asked. "I need you to put me in touch with some trusted people," Noah said. "We need a team of professionals to deal with a crime boss like Victor." Owen pondered for a moment and said, "I have an old friend, Liam, who is now head of the NSA. The man is upstanding and reliable, and he abhors Victor's criminal behavior. I can contact him and see if he is willing to help." "Then I'm counting on you, Owen," Noah said. "It's not too late. We have to move quickly." Owen nodded and took out his cell phone and dialed Liam's number. After some communication, Liam agreed to meet and talk about it in detail. Later that afternoon, Noah, Owen, and Liam meet at a secret location. Liam is a tall, sharp-eyed man with a commanding presence. "Noah, I've heard from Owen about what happened to you." Liam got right to the point. "I deeply sympathize with what you've been through and am outraged by Victor's crimes. I will do everything I can to help you and bring these criminals to justice." "Thank you, Liam," Noah said gratefully. "We need your help to completely destroy Victor's criminal network." "I've got a tentative plan," Liam said. "According to our intel, Victor has been planning a massive contraband deal recently. This would be a perfect opportunity to catch them in the act." "So what exactly should we do?" Noah asked. "We need you to infiltrate them and get key evidence." Liam said. "It's a very dangerous mission. Are you up for it?" Noah nodded without hesitation. "I do." "Good," Liam said. "I'll arrange for Owen to move in with you to ensure your safety. In the meantime, we'll have an outside presence and be ready to back you up at a moment's notice." Over the next few days, Noah embarks on a thrilling undercover operation arranged by Liam. Utilizing his superb disguise skills and exceptional boldness, he managed to approach Lucas and gain his trust. Lucas was so impressed with Noah's car-tuning skills that he invited him to join his team for an upcoming rally. Noah knew that this was the game they had planned for his accidental death. "Noah, your skills are fantastic." Lucas patted Noah's shoulder and said, "As long as you're willing to join us, we'll make sure that you'll be well-fed and well-fed in the future." "It is an honor to receive your appreciation," Noah said without moving. "However, I for one like to be free and don't like to be tied down." "Haha, what does it matter?" Lucas laughed out loud. As long as you help us win, you can do whatever you want. Then I thank you in advance. Noah said, I'll do my best. Noah and Lucas make false pretenses while secretly gathering evidence of their crimes. Using his superior hacking skills, he manages to break into Lucas's computer and obtains a large amount of confidential information about Victor's criminal network, including evidence of their contact with Mason. He's also secretly planted a bug in Lucas' car and has every detail of their plan. Meanwhile, Owen and Liam are pressing on with their external investigations and layouts. Through various channels, they gathered a lot of evidence of Victor's crimes and locked up several important leaders under him. As the date of the fight approaches, Noah's position becomes more and more precarious. He lives on the edge of a knife every day, and the slightest mistake could expose him and lead him into a situation of no return. But instead of backing down, he was more courageous in his mission. Finally, the day of the race arrived. Noah arrives at the racetrack and sees this special car that has been prepared for him. He knows that this is the death trap Sophia and Lucas have set for him. He walked over to the race car and scrutinized every part. He found that the car's brakes had indeed been tampered with and were prone to failure at high speeds. In addition, he found a hidden camera facing the driver's seat. Noah sneered, knowing that Lucas had installed it to ensure his accidental death. He carefully removed the camera and repaired the brakes. He's going to make Lucas and Sophia see for themselves how their plan went bust, right there on the field. The race started, and Noah drove the car like the wind. With his great driving skills, he led all the way and left the other competitors far behind. In the stands, Sophia and Lucas nervously watched the game. They saw Noah's car way ahead of the pack and had smug smiles on their faces. Looks like our plan worked. Sophia said, this idiot thought he could actually win. Haha, he'll know how stupid he is the moment he hits the guardrail. Lucas laughed. I can't wait to see him in pieces. However, just as they were getting carried away, the unexpected happened. Instead of losing control of his car and crashing into the guardrail, Noah's car made a beautiful drift and came to a solid stop in front of the finish line. The entire crowd was abuzz, cheering and applauding Noah's fantastic performance. Sophia and Lucas, meanwhile, were dumbfounded and couldn't believe their eyes. How is this possible? Lucas stammered. How could he? Did he find out about our plan? Sophia's face turned pale. Just then, a group of police officers stormed the arena and surrounded Lucas and his men. Lucas, you're under arrest, Owen exclaimed as he flashed his badge. Meanwhile, Liam has taken control of Sophia in the stands with his men. Sophia, we have all the information about what you have done, Liam said coldly. You'd better come with us obediently. Sophia slumped in her chair, her face ashen. She knew that it was all over for her. After Lucas and Sophia are taken away, Noah goes up to Owen and Liam and thanks them. Thank you, Owen Liam, Noah said. I couldn't have done it so well if it wasn't for your help. It's what we're supposed to do. Owen said, you're the real hero, Noah. We'd also like to thank you for the crucial evidence, Liam said. That was enough to bring Victor and his crime syndicate to heel. A few days later, Victor's criminal network was completely dismantled and he himself was arrested by the police. Sophia and Lucas will also face the full force of the law. After the dust settles, Noah takes Lily to the beach. They sat quietly on the beach and watched the sun set in the west. Daddy, is Mommy coming back? Lily asked suddenly. Noah was silent for a few moments and then said, Lily, Mommy did something wrong and she needs to take responsibility for her actions. But, no matter what she did, she will always be your mommy. You need to remember that Daddy will always love you and will always be there for you. Lily nodded plausibly and rested her head on Noah's shoulder. With Sophia, Lucas, and Victor among a host of criminals caught in the act, the gloom hanging over Madrid seems to have lifted. Noah can finally breathe a sigh of relief, but he knows that the aftermath of this case, as well as the future of his and Lily's lives, will face new challenges. The first thing before Noah is how to deal with his marital relationship with Sophia. Although Sophia's guilt has been established, the legal process still needs to take place. On Owen's recommendation, Noah finds Emma, a prominent lawyer in Madrid. Emma, an experienced and thunderous woman, sympathizes with Noah and offers to help him in any way she can. Mr. Noah, based on the evidence you provided, Sophia's actions have constituted attempted murder insurance fraud, and many other charges. Emma analyzed the case in detail. You will have an absolute advantage in the divorce proceedings. We will try our best to fight for your best interests, including Lily's custody and property division. Thank you, Ms. Emma. Noah said, I have only one request, and that is to protect Lily's rights so that she suffers as little as possible. That's for sure, Emma nodded. We'll do our best to minimize the impact of this lawsuit on the baby. Over the next few weeks, Noah cooperates with the police investigation while he and Emma prepare the paperwork for the divorce proceedings. During this time, he took as much time as he could with Lily, taking her to the park, reading her stories, and trying to make her feel the warmth of a father's love. Lily is still young, but vaguely aware of the change in her family. She becomes more reticent and dependent on Noah than ever before. Whenever Noah is out running errands, she always pulls tightly on his coat, afraid that he will leave her too. Noah's heart is filled with guilt and heartache as he watches his daughter understand. He knows that Sophia's betrayal has traumatized Lily's young mind, and he, with more love and patience, must help her out of the shadows. During the police interrogation, Sophia initially tries to weasel her way out of the situation by putting all the blame on Lucas. But as the police present more and more evidence, especially those key pieces of evidence provided by Noah, her mental defenses gradually crumble. Eventually, she had to confess to her crime and explain the whole scheme. I was just confused, Sophia cried. I was blinded by Lucas's flowery words and did something so wrong. However, no amount of repentance on her part could change the crime she had committed. What awaits her will be the severe punishment of the law. Meanwhile, Lucas was interrogated by the police. In the face of hard evidence, he is forced to confess to his crimes and give up more of the inner workings of Victor's crime syndicate. Based on Lucas' confession, the police followed the trail and completely destroyed Victor's criminal network and arrested all those involved. The case caused a huge stir in Madrid, with the media scrambling to report the details of the case and citizens talking about it. Sophia has gone from being a glamorous real estate agent to a prisoner scorned by everyone, her reputation and status completely shattered. During the divorce proceedings, due to Noah's possession of evidence of Sophia's crimes and Emma's excellent defense, the court ultimately ruled that Noah would receive full custody of Lily and Sophia would have no visitation rights. The court also ruled in Noah's favor when it came to property division, with Sophia pretty much netting only a small portion of her personal property. In court, Sophia looks at Noah and Lily with remorse and despair in her eyes. She knew that she had personally destroyed what had been a happy family in her own life. She tries to apologize to Noah and Lily, but Noah just gives her a cold look and leaves the courtroom with Lily. After the sentencing, Lily asked Noah, "Dad, will I ever see my mom again?" Noah stroked Lily's head and said, "It depends on how she behaves in the future. If she's truly repentant, you can decide for yourself if you want to see her when you're older. But for now, you're still young, and Daddy wants to protect you from people and things that might hurt you." Lily nodded plausibly and asked no further questions. After her imprisonment, Sophia fell into deep despair. She spends her days in prison reflecting on her past and regretting what she has done. She wrote many letters to Noah asking for his forgiveness, but none of them went unanswered. She also tried to contact Lily through the prison guards, but both were rejected by Noah. While in prison, Sophia also learns news that breaks her even more. As it turns out, Lucas gave the police a great deal of unfavorable testimony about Sophia in an effort to mitigate his crime, even including some of their private conversations. He puts all the blame on Sophia and portrays himself as a victim who was used by Sophia. Sophia then realizes that the man she has always loved is such a despicable and shameless villain. She felt a wave of nausea and despair as she realized that she had not only destroyed her family and her life, but she had lost everything she had ever had: affection, love, and dignity. She became the object of everyone's scorn, a true social death. Lucas, on the other hand, although he too was ultimately punished by the law, he received a somewhat reduced sentence for providing vital clues. Victor, however, continues to exact revenge on Lucas through various means while in prison. Lucas was so overwhelmed by all the torture that he eventually chose to end his life in prison. Victor was also ultimately sentenced to life in prison, and Mason, as an accessory, was sentenced to 20 years in prison in light of his confession. After all the dust settles, Noah takes Lily out of Madrid to a quiet seaside town. He sold the auto body store and used the money to buy a small house on the beach and live a quiet life with Lily. Instead of pursuing a career related to auto repair, Noah utilized his secret agent skills to land a job as a security consultant. The job doesn't require him to travel as much, giving him more time to spend with Lily. Lily is also getting used to her new life. She started attending the local school and made new friends. She is also slowly moving on from her past and becoming more cheerful and lively. Noah walks Lily on the beach every day, watching the sunrise and sunset and listening to the sound of the waves lapping at the sand. He tells Lily that no matter what happens, Daddy will always love and protect her. Lily snuggled into Noah's arms, feeling the warmth of her father's embrace, and knew that she was the happiest child in the world. A few years later, Lily grew up. She became more and more understanding of Noah's hard work. She knew that her father had given too much for her, and she had to study harder to become a person who would make her father proud in the future. Lily asked Noah, "Dad, will you ever get remarried?" Noah smiled and said, "Dad has enough with you. What the future holds, who knows? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Just let everything take its course." Lily looked over at Noah and noticed that he already had a few gray hairs on his head. She knew that her father had really given too much for her. She secretly vowed that she would study hard and be filial to her father in the future so that he could enjoy his old age in peace. Life in the seaside town is calm and beautiful. Noah and Lily are gradually out of the shadow of the past and start a new life. They watched the sunrise and sunset together, frolicked on the beach together, and savored the sweet and sour of life together. From time to time, Noah remembers the past, Sophia's betrayal, Lucas's schemes, and those thrilling days. But he knows that those are in the past, and he has to cherish the happiness in front of him, guard Lily, and let her grow up healthy and happy. Lily, in turn, grows into an independent, confident, and kind girl under Noah's loving care. She knows that she has the best father in the world, and she wants to make him proud and honored with her efforts. In the evening, as the sun sets, the golden afterglow spills over the sea and the waves sparkle. Holding hands, Noah and Lily strolled down the beach, leaving a long trail of footprints. "Dad," Lily said suddenly, "thank you." "Silly boy, thank me for what?" Noah asked with a smile. "Thank you for everything." Lily said, "Thank you for the best love in the world." Noah stops and takes Lily into his arms. He looked at the sea in the distance, his heart filled with emotion. He knew that he had opened a new chapter in his life, and that the future, for him and Lily, would be even better. That's the end of today's story. For more captivating tales, hit subscribe and never miss an episode.